There's a frustration that almost everyone who tries to manifest experiences. You do the visualizations. You say the affirmations. You write in your manifestation journal. You make the vision boards. You watch the videos and read the books. You're doing everything you think you're supposed to do. And yet, what you actually want never shows up. Or if it does show up, it doesn't last. It slips away just as quickly as it came. And you're left wondering what you're doing wrong, why this works for other people but not for you, why you can't seem to manifest what you actually want. And if that's where you are, if that's been your experience, then this video is for you. Because I'm going to show you exactly why you never manifest what you want and, more importantly, how to fix the creation mechanism that's been producing results you don't desire. This builds on what I talked about in my previous video about not focusing on your creation, on your external circumstances. Now we're going to create a better creation mechanism so that what you're creating actually matches what you want. Let me start by telling you something that might be hard to hear, but it's essential that you understand it. You are always manifesting. Every single moment of every single day, you're creating your reality. The manifestation mechanism is never turned off. It's never on pause. It's constantly operating, constantly projecting, constantly bringing you experiences that match your internal state. The problem isn't that you can't manifest. The problem is that you're manifesting your most emotionally charged subconscious content. And most likely, that content is exactly what you don't want. Think about it. If you want to manifest a loving relationship, but people have broken your heart in the past, what's your most emotionally charged subconscious content around relationships? It's not love and trust and partnership. It's heartbreak. It's betrayal. It's pain. And so even though you consciously want love, even though you're visualizing a beautiful relationship, your subconscious is projecting heartbreak because that's what carries the strongest emotional charge. And you keep manifesting more heartbreak, more disappointment, more people who hurt you. Or if you want to manifest money, but for most of your life you've always had to wait long periods before you had money, what's your most emotionally charged subconscious content around finances? It's not abundance and ease and flow. It's waiting. It's struggling. It's lack. And so even though you consciously want wealth, even though you're affirming abundance, your subconscious is projecting delay and struggle because that's what carries the emotional charge. And you keep manifesting situations where you have to wait a long time before money shows up, if it shows up at all. This is why you never manifest what you want. Because what you want consciously and what you're broadcasting subconsciously are two completely different things. And your subconscious always wins. Your subconscious is the projector. Your conscious desires are just wishes. And wishes without subconscious alignment don't create anything. Now, before I show you how to fix this, I need to tell you something important. We all struggle with some form of this. I still do. I'm no better than you. I'm not some enlightened master who's transcended all limiting beliefs and manifests perfectly every time. I'm a human being who's figuring this out just like you are. The only difference is I know how to make videos. I know how to articulate what I've learned and share it in a way that hopefully helps you. But I'm in the trenches with you. I have my own emotionally charged subconscious content that I'm working through. And that's okay. This isn't about perfection. It's about awareness and progress. So how do you fix this? How do you stop manifesting what you don't want and start manifesting what you actually desire? The answer comes down to one fundamental truth that Neville Goddard taught. Feeling is the secret. That emotionally charged subconscious content that's causing you to experience what you don't want to experience. It's a feeling. A deep, ingrained, automatically activated feeling that's been impressed upon your subconscious through repeated emotional experiences. And here's the crucial part. You can only override a feeling with another feeling. You can't think your way out of it. You can't affirm your way out of it. You can't visualize your way out of it if the visualization doesn't carry emotional weight. You have to use the same mechanism that created the problem, which is feeling, just that you're using a positive feeling now instead of a negative one. But before you can override the old feeling with a new one, you first have to identify what the old feeling actually is. You have to know what emotionally charged subconscious content you're carrying so you can consciously replace it. And here's how you do that. You consider what you believe is realistic about whatever you want to manifest. Because what you consider realistic is what's been emotionally impressed upon your subconscious. It's what you actually expect to happen, regardless of what you say you want. So ask yourself, what do I think is realistic about making money? Is it hard to make? Does it take a long time? Do I have to work myself to exhaustion to earn it? Do I have to be lucky or special or connected to make significant money? What feelings are attached to my beliefs about money? Ask yourself, what do I think is realistic about relationships? Do I have to argue and quarrel with my partner? Is some level of dysfunction just normal? Do people always disappoint you eventually? Does someone have to cheat or lie or leave? What feelings are attached to my beliefs about love? Ask yourself, what do I think is realistic about success? Does it require years of struggle? Do I have to sacrifice my peace and my health to achieve it? Is it only available to certain types of people? What feelings are attached to my beliefs about accomplishment? Whatever comes up when you ask these questions, whatever you genuinely believe is realistic, that's your emotionally charged subconscious content. That's what you're actually manifesting, even if you consciously want something completely different. And once you identify it, once you know what you're dealing with, then you can start the work of reprogramming, of impressing a new feeling onto your subconscious to override the old one. Here's exactly how you do that. First, you take the feeling attached to the opposite of your current beliefs. If you currently believe money is hard to make and that belief carries feelings of stress, scarcity, and struggle, then the opposite would be the feeling of ease, abundance, and natural flow around money. If you currently believe relationships involve pain and betrayal and that belief carries feelings of fear, guardedness, and hurt, then the opposite would be the feeling of safety, trust, and being cherished. You identify that opposite feeling. You get clear on what it would feel like to believe the opposite of what you currently consider realistic. And then you start feeling that way deliberately, consciously, repeatedly. This is where the imagination session becomes essential. When you're not occupied with the demands of daily life, when you have some time and space to turn inward, you lie down somewhere comfortable where you won't be disturbed. You close your eyes. You relax your body. And you imagine yourself living as someone who believes the opposite of what you currently consider realistic. If you currently believe money is hard to make, you imagine yourself as someone for whom money comes easily. You see yourself receiving money effortlessly. You see yourself making financial decisions without stress. You see yourself living from abundance instead of lack. If you currently believe relationships involve pain, you imagine yourself as someone who experiences love without fear. You see yourself with a partner who values you, who's loyal to you, who treats you with kindness and respect. You see yourself feeling safe and cherished. And here's the most important part, the part that makes this actually work. During that imagination, you feel like you're that person right now. You don't watch them from a distance. You embody them. You feel it in your being. You let the feeling of being that person saturate your entire body. This is what impresses the new feeling onto your subconscious. Not the images, not the thoughts, the feeling, the emotional experience of being someone who believes something different, who expects something different, who is something different. But the imagination session is just one part of reprogramming your subconscious. The real work happens throughout your day, in how you respond to life as it unfolds. When you wake up in the morning, before you check your phone or start your day, you feel like the person who believes the opposite of what you currently consider realistic. You don't think about being that person. You feel like you are that person. When you're about to go to bed at night, you do the same thing. You feel like the person who believes the opposite of what you currently consider realistic. You fall asleep in that feeling. And throughout your day, as you move through life, you watch yourself. You become aware. You catch yourself when you're about to behave or think in a way that aligns with what you currently consider realistic. And you stop. You consciously choose to feel differently instead. This requires awareness. Constant, vigilant awareness. Of course, your focus will drop sometimes. Of course, you'll slip back into old patterns. That's normal. That's human. But you do your best to maintain awareness throughout the day. To catch yourself before the old emotionally charged content takes over. To consciously choose the new feeling instead of automatically falling into the old one. You're literally reprogramming yourself. You're taking the emotionally charged subconscious content that's been creating what you don't want and replacing it with new emotionally charged content that will create what you do want. And I need to emphasize this. I said feel, not think. Your subconscious doesn't respond to thoughts unless they come with feeling. You can think positive thoughts all day long, but if there's no emotional charge to them, they won't impress your subconscious. They won't change what you're manifesting. You must feel. You must generate the actual emotional experience of being someone who believes something different, especially in tense moments, in triggering situations, when what you currently consider realistic seems absolutely true and undeniable. Those moments when someone says something that confirms your old belief about relationships and you feel that familiar pain rising up. Those moments when you check your bank account and see lack and you feel that familiar stress and scarcity taking over. Those moments when you face an obstacle and you feel that familiar sense of, this is too hard. It's always too hard. Those are the most important moments. Because in those moments, your old emotionally charged content is being activated. And if you just react automatically, if you let yourself feel the old feeling, you're reinforcing it. You're making it stronger. You're guaranteeing that you'll keep manifesting more of the same. But if you catch yourself in those moments, if you consciously choose to feel differently even when everything in your environment is pushing you toward the old feeling, that's when real change happens. That's when you're actually reprogramming your subconscious. That's when you're impressing new content that will create different results. This is not easy. It takes awareness. It takes discipline. It takes willingness to feel something that contradicts all the evidence your senses are showing you. This is where being delusional, which I talked about in a previous video, becomes essential. You have to be willing to feel wealthy when you're broke, to feel loved when you're alone, to feel successful when you're facing obstacles. Not because the circumstances justify the feeling, but because the feeling is what creates the circumstances. And if you're thinking this sounds impossible, if you're wondering how you're supposed to feel differently when reality is screaming at you that your old beliefs are true, go watch my video on being delusional. Because that's exactly what it addresses. How to maintain a feeling that contradicts evidence. How to stay anchored in an internal state regardless of external conditions. But here's what I want you to understand from this video. You're not failing at manifestation. You're not doing it wrong. You're manifesting perfectly. You're just manifesting your emotionally charged subconscious content instead of your conscious desires. And the reason you never manifest what you want is because what you want and what you subconsciously expect are two different things. So stop focusing on techniques. Stop collecting more information. Stop trying to find the magic formula that will finally work. Instead, do the inner work of identifying what you actually believe is realistic, what emotionally charged content is sitting in your subconscious, and then deliberately, consciously, repeatedly replace that feeling with its opposite. Do the imagination session. Feel like the person who believes something different. Carry that feeling throughout your day. Catch yourself when you're about to fall back into the old feeling. Choose the new feeling instead, especially in moments when the old feeling seems justified. Do this consistently, and you'll reprogram your subconscious. You'll change the emotionally charged content that's been creating what you don't want. And when you do that, when your subconscious content finally aligns with your conscious desires, you'll start manifesting what you actually want instead of what you've been conditioned to expect. That's why you never manifested what you wanted before. But now you know how to fix it. Now you know how to create a better creation mechanism. So do the work. Feel the new feeling. Reprogram your subconscious. And watch what you actually want finally start showing up in your reality.